Hi, everybody. This is Bill Young from Berlin Center United Methodist, and we are on day 5 of week 4, where we are finishing up John chapter 9, verses 35 through 41. And so let's go ahead and take a look at that passage. It's spiritual blindness, or as the book likes to call it, Redeemer to the rescue. Jesus heard that they had thrown him out, and when he found him, he said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" "Who is he, sir?" the man asked. "Tell me so that I may believe in him." Jesus said, "You have now seen him. In fact, he is the one speaking with you." Then the man said, "Lord, I believe," and he worshiped him. Jesus said, "For judgment I have come into this world, so that the blind will see, and those who see will become blind." Some Pharisees who were with him heard him say this and asked, "What? Are we blind too?" Jesus said, "If you were blind, you would not be guilty of sin. But now that you claim you can see, your guilt remains." So I'm going to read from the book. This is pages 53 through 55. Understanding the Word. The formerly blind man must have been truly down and depressed after his battle with the authorities. Normally, a person who was healed wouldn't go to the priest or authority to get a sort of certificate of good health, and then he could return to all normal Jewish activities in the synagogue. But this is the opposite of what happens to the blind man. We are told that when Jesus hears of his expulsion, he comes to the man and asks an unexpected leading question: "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" Jesus is taking the initiative to inaugurate a whole new phase in this man's life. This is presumably the first time the man has ever seen Jesus face to face. And so he doesn't know either that this is Jesus or that he is the Son of Man. Notice, however, the readiness of the man to believe. "Who is he, sir? Tell me that I may believe in him." Here is a person who is now at the opposite end of the spectrum from those who were willingly disbelieving in Jesus. And this tells us something important. The disposition of the human heart has everything to do with what people believe. If a person is not at least open to possibilities, it is difficult for him to change his mind or embrace something new. But embracing something new is always a risk, always a step of faith. The man is prepared to trust the speaker. We are told that the man replied wholeheartedly after Jesus indicated he was talking about himself. "Lord, I believe." The reference to worship probably refers to obstinance, the bowing down before the dignitary that one recognizes as one's superior. This is the normal meaning of the word in Jewish monotheistic context, when we are not talking about worship of the Yahweh. Light can have two effects. It can illuminate a subject or bring it to light, but it can also blind a person as well. Jesus suggested his coming into the world as the light of the world has both effects. He said it has come into the world so people have to make a decision, a judgment about him. This does not contradict what John 3:16 through 17 says, for there is a discussion about the intentions of God in sending his Son. The Pharisees thus ask, "Are we blind too?" Jesus' response is intriguing. He says that if we were truly spiritually blind, they would not be guilty of sin in misjudging Jesus in the situation they are observing. But since they claim to be spiritually perceptive, they are responsible for their willful misjudgment of Jesus, and so their guilt remains. Notice this whole story has a focus on the issue of sin and guilt, and who is a sinner and what counts as a sin. The blind man, his parents, Jesus, the Jewish officials, all at various points in this narrative are said to be sinners of one sort or another. Only the disciples remain unscathed. But at the beginning of the story, they are wrong in their judgment about the blind man, just like the Pharisees. Things are not as they seem on the surface, and spiritual things are spiritually discerned. And so the two are heading in opposite directions. One claims to see slipping into darkness, the Pharisees, And one who truly blind, but is coming into the bright light of the day, the blind man, and they pass each other one last time in the presence of Jesus, the light of the world. Only one of them is going in the right direction. This story is perhaps the most masterful narrative in the whole gospel, and it shows what his extended narrative can do to reveal the truths about the gospel and about Jesus. So now let's look at the reflection questions. What is it about the formerly blind man that makes him such an appealing character in this narrative? Why do you think Jesus asked for a confession of himself as the Son of Man here? What do you make of Jesus' suggestion that with claims of having spiritual sight and insight comes the responsibility of one's judgments and sin and guilt that may ensue? What does this suggest to you about the care with which spiritual leaders today should approach critical evaluations of others? Well, this was a deep chapter, and I hope that you've enjoyed reflecting on what's going on here with the blind man. And I hope that you join us tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. at Berlin Center United Methodist, as we will discuss John chapter 9. And I hope you stay after the class, as I will be speaking on Father's Day, and I'm excited about that. Please pray for me. So until tomorrow, have a great day, and please come join us on Father's Day for Adult Christian Education at 9:30 and for our worship service at 10:50. Thank you very much. Till then, goodbye.